And welcome back to part 4 of What If Raditz and Goku had gone to Earth together. So last time, we had Bardock and Guinea actually resurrected, thanks courtesy of the dragon. And Kame, getting a little scolded from King Yama, worked out an arrangement where Goku and Raditz came up, met him, he's like, don't do this again, here are your folks. And there you are. And now they're going to train for the tournament. But someone in the comments had actually raised a really good point that because we have been so disconnected from Dragon Ball for so many years, going into Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Super, even Dragon Ball DDT, I forgot about the limitations of the Dragon Ball series, Dragon Balls. And that if they can't resurrect someone who's been dead for over a year... Now, that is due to the limitation of Kami itself. The Dragon Balls power is a reflection of the abilities of the creator of the Dragon Balls, which makes you wonder, how strong is fucking Zarathos? Or Zaruma? Or basically, the guy who created the Super Dragon, I think it's Zaruda or Saruma, something like that. How strong, you know what, Super Dragon, I just want to look up the name, but how strong is that guy that he can make Dragon Balls, A, the size of planets, but B... but B, that can literally grant any wish there is. Like there's no restriction. It's just one. But theoretically, if it can grant any wish there is, no, not Zamasu. Sorry. What was the name of the guy who created these things? Hold on. Super Dragon Balls were created by Zalama, created by the dragon god Zalama. And the first known set of Dragon Balls predating the creation of Mechian Dragon Balls. Yeah, if they're a reflection of that, implies this guy's probably stronger than even Zeno. Think about that for a second, because Zeno still has, like, Zeno can't create, because Zeno is like the true, Zeno's like the true embodiment of a destroyer god. He is the destroyer god. But that would make Zalama, I could have sworn it was pronounced differently, but whatever, Zalama. That would make him the true definition of a creator god. And theoretically, his power is either equal to or supersedes Zeno's power. Why Zamasu just didn't ask to be this more stronger than Zeno, I have no idea. But Zamasu wasn't necessarily the brightest. I digress. So, yeah, because they're a reflection of Kami, and because Kami was such an old Namekian, that did put, like, okay, can I figure out a way? Because I basically said this too. I'm like, to the guy who brought it up, I'm like, oh crap, that's a good point. Can I figure out a way to alter what I did to still have what I did happen, or do I have to backtrack? Well, it's going to get a little convoluted, but I think I did figure out a way for that to work, for what I did to work. So let's backtrack real quick, rewind. Raditz wishes for the return of his mother and father back into the world of the living. This time around, though, Shenron says, I cannot grant that wish. It's like, what? You can grant any wish. I am limited. My power is limited. I cannot resurrect one that has been gone dead for more than one Earth year. It's like, what are you talking about, Dragon? You said it said you can grant any wish. No. To which Shenron, kind of break carefully, like, the reports of my abilities are grossly exaggerated. I can grant many of wishes, but even I am bound by limitations. Limitations? What sort of limitations? I am bound. And this is where Shenron, I think, would actually give Raditz the idea for how this would work. I am bound by my creator's power. I am a reflection of my creator's abilities. My powers stem from him. The stronger my creator, the stronger my abilities. Now make your wish. And then Rich Raditz thinks, like, would there be if your creator's abilities were to increase, could you grant more wishes? Could you grant stronger wishes or more wishes? It's like, theoretically, in theory, yes. To which Shenron's like, I don't like where this is going. Dragon! I wish your creator to be strong enough to grant more effective wishes. To which Shenron actually has to think, like, actually, because here, like, someone did bring it up too. It's like, why didn't Kami ever wish for his youth? Like, if he's the guardian, he needs to, like, really be up on this. And to which Shenron is like, because let's be clear, Shenron has limitations, absolutely, and no matter what, Shenron has limitations. But Shenron can still do a lot. He can resurrect literally the entire population of the planet multiple times over, thanks to retcons and whatnot, and alterations like Dende made. He can grant immortality. He can grant infinite wealth, infinite power. He probably can't grant infinite power in the sense of status, not actual energy. In theory, though, he could probably grant a substantial power boost. To what degree is unknown. He just can't take lives, as far as that's one of the big restrictions Shenron has. He can't take a life because he's a reflection of Kami. But Shenron's like, this wish can be granted. Into which Kami now just like, what's going on? What, I feel actually pretty good. What? And he looks in the mirror. He's his young version again. He's actually pretty. And I would imagine this would actually buff up Kami's power considerably. Kami, power level wise, I believe it has said that he has a power level of roughly 300, though I've seen disputes on that. Kami Dragon Ball Z power level. Let's see. Kami's power level. Okay, Kami's power level. I've seen, because, listen, the movie panel for Dragon Ball Z Tree of Might says Kami's power level is around 400, which actually does in theory make sense that he would be that strong, but because he's guarding Earth, he can't really participate in stuff or fights or anything like that. So if his power, because that's a movie pamphlet, that's, well, technically not true canon, it's not the Daizenshu, it is still a number we can go off of. So if his power level is around 400, but now he gets his youth back, I wouldn't go so far as to say it fully doubles his strength, but maybe 50%, like 600 is what it goes to, just by getting younger. And I would imagine a youthful, more stronger Namekian. Like, look at Dende is a perfect example here. Dende is not a fighter. He probably doesn't have a power level much higher than maybe 100. I don't think we have a power level for Dende, but let's actually see if we got a power level for Dende. Dende was the support. As Dende, Dende said, I'm the weight made. Dende. Dende power level. Yeah, as, okay, apparently Dende's power level is 10 in Dragon Ball Z Super Saiyan Daisen. Okay, so yeah. He has a power level of freaking 10, but he's youthful and actually has other abilities like healing and stuff that allowed him to recreate the dragon and give it some extra power and abilities and wishes. So I imagine Kami getting stronger and all that would do the same. And so as Kami's, his youth is restored, he, there's like, what did those Saiyans do? And to which then Goku, Raditz say, Dragon, I thought you only granted one wish. Towards Raditz, he's like smirk. He's like, I did it. I think it works. He's like, you have now one more wish. Speak it. Already, I already know what it is, but you need to say it. There's all right, Resurrector, and now we can bring Gine and Bardock in. Except the difference is, when they go to meet Kami, now you have basically a young Piccolo-looking figure who's actually much stronger now than either Raditz or Goku, pretty much almost put together. To which again he says like, don't ever do it again. And it's like, well, aren't you supposed to be the guardian of the? To which Bardock, either Bardock or Raditz could actually say, why didn't you just do that before? You're clearly stronger and better shape now, and you're the guardian. It's your job to protect this place, and that includes maybe having to get into a fight now and then. If it's your job to protect the planet, don't be such a wuss. Don't think that it's wrong to get stronger or to use the Dragon Balls for something that's for the benefit of your people. And I can see that being from Bardock more than Raditz, because Bardock was the one who tried to persuade the Saiyans and all that, and it didn't work. He knows what it's like to lose your people from that. To which I think Kami would actually take that he's the guardian, but he also realizes that Bardock could squish me like a bug, like the slug I am. But he also hears that as like, he's not wrong. I took over the position of guardian, thinking I was doing the Earth a service, but here I have just been watching and not intervening when it's needed or prudent. That Pilaf would have taken over the world had it not been for these Saiyans. Am I really worthy of this position after all? Kami, don't talk like that. You've been one of the best guardians ever. It's true. You've gotten lax, but Bardock's right. There's nothing wrong with using the Dragon Ball's abilities if it means protecting Earth further. And getting stronger just strengthens their abilities even further. So when the time comes to use them again, we will have a fighting chance against any greater evil that could show up. Especially if what Bardock says is true, we may need such strength in the future. God, Bardock, was it? Yeah, I know this. I am the guardian of this planet. I do not tolerate insubordinates, and I do not tolerate rude, snide comments towards me. What you young people would say, kicking the pants. Yeah, don't worry about it, Kami. I mean, honestly, we owe you more than enough just bringing us here, and for making those things that allowed us to come back anyway. It's like, indeed. May we see each other in the future, friend. Until then, though, Mr. Popo. Yes, Kami? Prepare the time chamber. Are you certain about that? Yes. If what they say is true, then I need to get stronger. So there you go. Now I've made a strong Kami, and I am sure I'm gonna get so much shit for what I just did, but whatever. I'm like, I don't want to have to redo the entire part 3 again, because that's just not gonna be good for views, not gonna be good for storytelling. So I'm like, can I figure out a way to make it work? And yeah, okay. Anyway, so we fast forward now to where I left off officially in the last chapter, only 11 and a half minutes into the video, where Bardock is basically going to train Goku and Raditz into shape for the tournament. Now, keep in mind, Krillin is now the only student of Roshi, so it's a double-edged sword. A, Roshi can focus all of his training on Krillin, but B, he doesn't have Goku there to push him. So it's actually really weird, because in one sense, him being the sole focus means he could probably progress even further, but Goku there clearly pushed him to grow stronger at the time. I'll say this. Krillin is at minimum his canon power level, or he's maybe just a little stronger. He's not a drastic amount stronger, but he might be just a little stronger, just because he's had his whole focus has been Roshi has whole focus on Krillin this whole time. So meanwhile, we fast forward, I believe it was a whole year, where Raditz and Goku have been training with Bardock. Now, someone brought up, why don't they get Bulma to make the gravity chamber and all that stuff? We're really not there at this time. I think we would get there with Bardock, maybe like midway through Dragon Ball, or like after the King Piccolo stuff, due to Bardock apparently being a scientific engineer. Like, he is a scientist, apparently. Like, Bardock isn't dumb. I mean, despite what we get in like the Bardock special, no, the Bardock we get in Super allegedly is actually very intelligent. Maybe not like a genius, but he's actually very intelligent. The only reason I go with the power level we know of is because that's the only one we really know of. So, yeah. So, with him beating the ever-loving snot out of them, without a gravity chamber, mind you, although I could imagine Kami actually saying, them stopping by Kami's now and then, just to see how things are, and him saying, because Goku did try to train in the Hyperbolic Time Chamber once as a kid in canon. I would imagine that they would eventually... but I don't think Kami I don't think they're aware of the Hyperbolic Time Chamber yet, because Kami, even though he said it offhandedly, prepare the chamber, wouldn't be like, oh, hey, come up here and train right now. No, I don't think that's going to happen at this point. So you just have Bardock training the ever-loving crap out of him. And Bardock probably getting training in himself. Now, over a year's time, Bardock's power, I don't think because Raditz and Goku are so weak, he's got to basically just kind of do his own self-training a little bit. He's probably not going to get that much stronger. Maybe even out to around 11,000. I say that's a probably solid number. He's not even multiplying his power by like a quarter of his actual strength. It's a solid chunk, but in over a year, I think that makes sense. Raditz and Goku, on the other hand, they do get a pretty solid boost. Now, we know ultimately that Goku. Well, we don't know ultimately because we just don't know enough about Raditz. we can assume ultimately that Goku, while being born to pitiful power level, had more potential than Raditz for growth and all that. That's not to say Raditz probably doesn't have, if someone took the time and effort to really invest in him, doesn't have a solid amount of potential. I just assume Goku's got the better growth rate between the two. We see that throughout the entire Dragon Ball series, is that Goku's growth rate is disgusting. Transformations aside. Sorry, I got a little something caught in my throat. Ooh, I apologize for that one, folks. Oh, anyway, sorry, get a sip of water real quick. Okay. So, where would I put their powers at after a year of severe training from Bardock and Gine just being like, this is nice. The family together again. I would probably say, with Raditz, I would probably go with triple on his power level. I put him roughly between like 450 and 425. For easy number's sake, we'll say 425. You'd think I'd say 450, but actually no, I'd say 425. Because I just don't put him at the 450 mark. That might be contradicting something I said earlier, but I think I said where I put him at 450. But when I said that, I think I meant between like 450 and 400. So like 425, I think, is the reasonable number. Either way, even if it was 450, I'm going to do the multiplier from 425. So about 3 times increase, we're looking at about 1,275, which is not quite his canon power level when he shows up. Though Rads and Nappa believed it was roughly around there, around 1,200. Goku, however, I think gets more like a 5, because he's also training with Rads as well. So Goku, I think, gets more like a 5 times increase from his 180. That puts him, if I know my math right, at about 900. So the gap between Raditz and Goku, it's actually a little wider, but the thing is, the stronger you get, the bigger a gap can be, and the more on, like, let's put it this way. There is a huge gap between 1 million and 900,000. But in Dragon Ball Z terms, you guys are relatively close together in terms of power, so you can fight on a really even keel. Same thing here. Even though there's now like a 300-point difference almost, actually a little over, they're actually able to fight on a much more even tone now with each other. So, Goku, I think, also gets a little bit of a height boost or whatever. So we cut now to the actual Budokai. Raditz and Goku show up. It's like, Raditz, Goku, you're here. It's like, yes, old man. We decided to participate in this tournament. Our father and mother insisted. So your father and mother? Oh, yes. Would you like to meet Bardock and Gine? Oh, Gohan, how you been? Now remember, Roshi isn't Jackie Chun yet. He's just Roshi here in the crowd. God, how you been also? Oh, I've been pretty well. It's like, wait, so I thought, and your Goku, and your Kakarot and Rad's parents? It's like, yes, I am Bardock, and this is my wife, Gine. It's a pleasure to meet you. I hear you're quite the martial artist. Sorry, no, my Bardock is going to Rad's. I hear you're quite the martial artist. It's like, well, I don't mean to brag. I even have a student who's participating in the fight, and an old friend who's stopping by. Speaking of which, I gotta go visit him. Look forward to seeing how you do prevail. And to which Roshi is now sensing that, oh my word, their power is enormous. I sound like an old prospector. Their power is enormous. My word. So, because, at this point now, they, except for Roshi in his buff form, which someone did also correctly point out, that Piccolo at a low 400 was able to blow up a moon. The implication, though, is that Roshi's buff form is, because Roshi's buff form, it has to be stronger than the Ox King. So it's got to be in the low thousands, probably, minimum. But he can't maintain it for very long. Roshi thinks that if I had to, I could probably beat those boys, but I don't want to put too much money on it. And then there's those two. My word, his wife is strong enough as is. Gine put around 500. I don't think Gine has much interest in training. But Bardock's like, and then his father. Hopefully they're on our side. So the tournament goes down. Raditz and Goku are just, beating the crap out of everyone, all their opponents. Actually, that's a good question. I know there's Bactrian, oh god, first Dragon Ball Z Budokai. First Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Budokai. Buddha, 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 Buddha. Budokai. Okay. Martial arts tournament. I can't spell Budokai for shit. Okay. Well, nah. Okay, the tournament saga. Here we go. So I'm trying to remember who was matched, because obviously Raditz and Goku would both be there, but so someone has to basically be supplanted for Raditz. Do I think Bakjin, Nami, Ranfan, Goku, Girin? I would say that let's see here. I would say that the one who gets supplanted is probably. You know what? I would go so far as to say it's probably Girin. I would say Girin gets is the one who basically gets kicked out of there. So that actually makes the first match Goku versus Raditz. So I mean, you still get Krillin versus Bacterian, that he still wins. Jackie Chun versus Yamcha, obviously. So, and then obviously Nami versus Ranfan. Although I could supplant Ranfan and Raditz as well, and then Raditz would beat Nami. That way Goku and him don't immediately fight. So let's go that route. Goku easily beats them. So then you get obviously Krillin versus Jackie Chun, and obviously Roshi does, because that is still a fight that would take place, and it would still go the same way, despite Krillin being a little bit stronger. Then it would be Goku versus Rat. This is where you'd get a real fight. And here's the thing: are they at a speed now where people would not be able to keep up with their reflexes, except for like experienced martial arts? Yeah, normal people might have trouble keeping up with what's going on, but like experienced martial artists and stuff like that, they're still low enough power where they would be able to maintain what's going on visually. So Goku and Raditz really duke it out, and they power up to full. Obviously, not including Uzaru, which they explained their father they've been working on trying to control, but they're just not there yet. And to which Bardock is even like, really? It's like, yes. Gohan mentioned about martial arts discipline. It's been really has been aiding us in controlling our 8 forms. Unfortunately, we're still not there yet. But we can at least identify someone as that we know, and will not attack someone that we know. Unfortunately, we still end up rampaging after that. I can imagine there have been several times where that's happened, particularly with Goku. And I imagine it's one of those things where Raditz keeps Goku in check if he has to. Anyway, to which Bardock is like, interesting. So their fight goes down, and because they train a lot with each other, they're pretty familiar with the moves, and Goku was even aware Raditz is stronger, and I keep telling Goku it's Kakarot. I'm going to be doing that. Kakarot is still Kakarot. He's still Goku. So the thought of going up against someone stronger than them and being able to maybe surpass them really that's what separates Raditz and Goku, I think, as characters. At least from what little we see, is that Raditz was definitely a bit more cowardly and conniving, whereas Goku was definitely a bit more pure and just open. Now, obviously, that has changed up a bit with their time on Earth and all that, but I still think the principle is the same here, that Goku really is looking forward to, challenging Raditz and pushing himself. So they're duking it out. Raditz is definitely holding the edge, but that's not to say Goku isn't getting good hits in. They both clash with Kamehameha. Goku's almost overpowered. It's like everything I got, I will win. And all of a sudden, it's like his power's increasing because the idea of a Saiyan is you were naturally able to surpass your limits, as we see in the tournament of Pachi. It's like, what? It's like, how is Kakarot doing this? His power. Now, don't get me wrong. Surpassing his limits doesn't mean his base power is going to immediately be a lot higher. Doesn't mean it's going to be lower either, or the same. I do think surpassing his limits does give him a bit of a buff. Like, maybe his new base is around 1,000 now, but temporarily, as he's just surpassing his limits, he manages to tie Raditz, and they both basically have to go up in the air. They do this in the air, too, I imagine, because they don't want to get people hurt. And, there's an explosion. It's like, ah! And they both nearly go flying back. Goku, again, being a bit more crafty, grabs onto the pillar with his tail, and Raditz actually falls out of the ring. It's like, ah! It's like, what? It's like, the winner is Kakarot! It's like, what? He was, and Bart's like, that's my boy! Oh, that was a clever move there, Kakarot. Yeah, it was. So, you okay there, son? Say, hey, I'll be fine. I want something to eat. It's like, ugh. And then Raditz helps his brother. You little squirt. That was a clever little move you did, you little half-bite. Like, I beat you. Finally, I beat you. I'll get used to that victory. You won't be seeing a lot of them in the future with the training we'll be doing. It's like, oh. So that is, and then obviously you get, you get Goku versus Jackie Chun. Now, because Goku doesn't get a lot of time to recover, this actually means that the fight actually goes roughly the same. Goku's still obviously much stronger than base form or even standard buff Jackie Chun, Master Roshi. But again, big big Hulk form Roshi is a different story. And Roshi's still the much better fighter. But you get a much more tired out Goku. His power level is probably diminished at this point. Maybe it's still hovering a little above where he was in the original series, but he's tired out because that took a lot out of him. So they're a lot more even matched, which ultimately I think does lead to Roshi winning the day because Goku was just so much more tired than he was. So Roshi still ends up winning, but it's a hard-earned fought match. And, what Roshi wanted to do is make sure his students didn't win so they didn't get big heads, which is what happened. So, ultimately, Roshi still wins. He treats the family to dinner and it's like, that's all my prize money, as they just ate all the food. So, that is where we will ultimately end this part 4. Sorry it took me so long. Sorry we didn't get through more of this. I needed to really kind of explain myself with how I basically figured out how I could bring Bardock and Gine into the fold. Because I kind of wanted to. I really did. And when I realized, oh crap, there was a limitation of the Dragon Balls. Figure it out. Come on, you can do it. Then I'm like, yes, got it. At least I thought I did. Let me know if you thought what I did was clever, dumb, or both. Until then, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. As always, you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know what the review of it at some point and ideas for who would win. Star Wars, superhero, magic, what if, anything to do on the channel. Put that in the comments below as well. I'll get that at some point. I'll see you folks next time. I got a Pokemon video I'm going to do today, and then I got the videos for tomorrow I'm going to pre-record. So thanks for watching. See you later.